How to know when you need to replace your clutch. In this video, I'm going to give you every single piece of information you need as a manual owner or prospective manual owner about how to know when your clutch needs to be replaced, which is a very important thing to know. And if you stick through the video, you will leave the video with an exact understanding. You won't get scammed by shops. You won't erroneously replace your clutch and pay thousands of dollars if it doesn't need to be replaced. And I'll explain it all in a very short YouTube video, so I highly recommend sticking through it. Let's get straight into it so you guys can learn as much as possible in the shortest period of time possible. Let's get into it. Before I show you a clutch and maybe a flywheel, so I can show you visually what it looks like, there is a problem. I'm going to show you the clutch anyways, because this video would be boring if I didn't. Here is the critical problem. There's no way for you to look at the clutch on your car. And if you're looking at the clutch, you might as well replace it. That's the general rule of thumb. But I don't want to lose the point of this video. You need to understand as a consumer, as somebody that's not looking at their clutch, how to figure out when you need to replace the clutch. So let's start by let me showing you a clutch, and then we'll get into how to do all this. So we'll actually look at the flywheel first. This is a flywheel. It was just accessible. They're super heavy. This is what they look like. Flywheels, typically, people resurface them. This is what you would resurface. This is what actually presses up against the clutch and the clutch binds to. I will say, flywheels these days are not really meant to be resurfaced. You typically need to replace them. They're fairly cheap. They're like between $100 and $300 depending what you drive. My rule of thumb is always replace them because to the eye, it's very hard to tell if you need to replace it, if you have it out, and if you're looking anyways, it's cheaper just to replace this than to burn through a new clutch. And then this is a clutch. So, this is a fairly used clutch, to be honest. One of the ways you can tell it's used is I can feel the grooves in here. I can feel a lot of like friction stuff. There's also material. There's material trapped in around the pieces. There's material in the bearing, and you can just see that there's material. So you're going to see a little bit of material in any clutch, but when you're actually looking at a clutch, you can see a lot of material. You can see striations in the surface that shouldn't be there. And some people will measure thickness, but performance clutches are typically proprietary in how they're built and often are paired with specific flywheels. So it's very hard to know. But yeah, this is what typically you're going to go based on material and the amount of material that's in the actual housing around this, because you will actually, as you use the clutch more, you'll refract material off of it. But looking at a clutch is not how you actually tell if you need to replace it, so let's dive into that. So you're sitting here and being like, dude, how can I not have a clutch and figure out how to replace it? Well, again, there's no way if you drive a manual car to know without looking at it and seeing all this material in the crap and the striations and all that stuff, whether or not you need to replace your clutch. Let's put the clutch down for a second because honestly, it doesn't really matter. So if you drive a manual car and you want to figure out how to replace your clutch, there are two things that you can do. And these are the only things that you can do to figure out whether you need to replace your clutch. Number one, understand what it feels like to have a working clutch and understand what it feels like in your car to have a non-working clutch. You're going to be like, well, how am I supposed to do that? So when you start driving your car, let's just assume you drive a car where you know the clutch is good. Let's just start there and we'll address not. You know what it feels like to shift. As your clutch starts to go and the signs of needing to know that you need to replace a new clutch, your clutch won't feel the same. It will start to feel different until it starts to slip. And you will know day one, the second it starts to slip. I remember when I first started driving a manual, I was worried that I wouldn't be able to recognize a clutch slipping and understanding whether it needs a new clutch. And just throw that worry out the door. I cannot describe it because it's going to be different for any car you drive. It's going to be slightly different, but you will know the second you start driving that the clutch starting to slip. A lot of people will tell you, you will be able to notice the RPMs change with the clutch slipping or delays in catching gears. That is the clutch failing, not slipping. Technically it's slipping, but it's slipping in a way that could do further damage to your transmission. So you're gonna feel it start slipping, and by the time you start seeing it in like jerks of the car or RPM changes, your clutch needs to be replaced like tomorrow. That's number one, is finding that feeling. Number two is time and miles on your current transmission and clutch. Time isn't as important until you get to about a decade, but mileage. Most clutches like these are good for between, depending on how good of a driver you are, 30 to 75,000 miles. If you're really good at driving on a manual transmission, you might be able to get 100 and 115,000 miles out of a stock clutch. I've seen it happen. A lot of you guys, like myself, are gonna be like, the odds of that are very low. It is true. More commonly, you're gonna get 60 or 70,000 miles out of a, if you're really good at driving it. And then I've also seen clutches go at like 15 or 20,000 miles if you haven't really figured out how to drive stick. And remember, being good at driving stick is not about your experience and what you perceive as being good at driving stick. It's about driving stick in the way that the cars were designed to be driven. And designed to be driven doesn't mean that you think that you're getting good performance at how you drive it. So you need to understand that there are objective good and bad ways to drive it. One of the beautiful ways that you can extend clutch life and put that wear on your brake is when you're coming to a stop, don't downshift through it. It is not bad for the engine to skip downshifting. It's actually just better because you're putting all the wear in dropping and slowing down, not on your engine and your clutch. You're reducing the amount of pressure instances of the clutch, and you're putting that in your brakes. Brake pads are significantly cheaper than replacing your clutch. So just thinking about it, think about it about clamp instances. So if you think about a clutch has a certain amount of times that you can clamp and put pressure on it before it fails. And the more times you do that over time, the sooner it fails, regardless of what's happening. It's about material coming off the clutch, right? So the more times it's clamped or pressure is up against it, right? We're going to say clamping, but it's really pressure. You remove a little bit of material and it wears the clutch. And typically you can do that, many hundreds of thousands of times, right? Or whatever it is before these things fail. But if you think about it, on your way up, if you do it on the way down, typically you increase the amount of times you do this, 10, 20, 30%. You just reduce that and you replace your brake pads a little bit more often, which are going to last forever anyways. You get a little bit more life out of your clutch. A lot of you guys don't like that. A lot of you guys say it's a safety thing. I've been doing that for my entire life. And depending on the school of thought in what country you're in and driving performance school or whatever it is, there are multiple different recommendations on doing that. The only safety thing, just to say it out there, is that you're not in gear if you're slowing down and you need to get out of something, so you have to be able to quick shift. But anyone that knows how to drive a stick, you're fine anyways. So it's mileage. I always mark when a clutch is done. If I'm buying a car and I don't know, I expect and I guess. So if I buy a car with 60,000 miles on it, I'm going to assume this clutch hasn't been replaced. And that means I'm going to start thinking and being more aware of it right away because I've got about 60,000 miles. But if I buy a car with 30,000 miles, you don't really need to think about it or start looking out for it until like 50, 60, 70,000 miles. And again, you're not replacing it at 50, 60, 70,000 miles. You're just starting to focus on seeing if there are changes in how it's performing. It's not like you got to do it every day. It's just saying, okay, I hit 60,000 miles. Let me just take a mental note of how it feels right now. And then when you hit 70,000 miles, reassess and say to yourself, does it feel the same? You will know when it doesn't, and you can trust me in me saying it will be clear and obvious when you're like, ooh, something is different. Replace your clutch when something feels different. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully I saved you a little bit of money because people erroneously replace clutches too early. And also, hopefully I saved you money in that don't wait until you're feeling it like this when you're driving, because it might be too late and you might have to replace your transmission on top of just your clutch. And a reminder, I keep having to pick up this clutch. If you ever have a project done on your car where your clutch is exposed, just replace it. You will thank me later and it will be cheaper. Most quality shops, if they are already doing a project where it exposes your clutch, will charge you very little labor hours to pop in a new clutch, because most of the labor of doing a clutch is either pulling the engine or dropping the transmission in the first place. So let's say you've been very unfortunate and your engine needs to be pulled or your transmission needs to be pulled to get access to something. Even self-supply a clutch and ask them to put it in or something, or replace your clutch. It is totally worth doing it, and I will see you guys in the next video.